I want to round this show out by talking about something that is very prevalent at this point in time in the college football calendar, in the college football playoff. It's a matter of fate, right? You dance with fate. You roll the dice and you see what happens. Who's going to decide the fate, though, for all 12 of these teams in the college football playoff field? We'll talk about it right now. First, make sure you're subscribed. We're live right now, so everyone live, I appreciate y'all being dialed in. Make sure you've subscribed. If you're watching as a one-off video, hit the subscribe button. Going to take all the college football sickos here to get this thing where we want to go. This show brought to you by Prize Picks, code HARDCOUNT, $5 in lineups, $50 in promo funds. Appreciate y'all using code HARDCOUNT. Got a square I love here for a first-round college football playoff game in a matter of moments, all right? So we'll go 12 through 1 here from a seed perspective is how we'll proceed here. The fate decider, I believe, for the Clemson Tigers is Garrett Riley. Now, the reason I feel that way, Clemson, the first round of the college football playoff, you got Texas. Texas, they are arguably the best defense in college football, both statistically speaking and personnel speaking. I say that to bring us to the point of, like, Clemson, I don't think you have a situation where, like, you just straight up like your matchups. That's not me saying anything of your wide receiving core or your offensive line or your quarterback. Like, it might just take a little bit of some extra smoke and mirrors offensively to score points how you want to score points. Like, Vegas has got you at 11.5-point dog. It is what it is. I think for Garrett Riley, for them to win this football game, you got to manufacture explosives. I'm talking quarterback design run game. I'm talking inside zone. I'm talking some jet sweep. Whatever you got to do to get those eyes working left and right, get that safety run in the alley, a lot of real estate downfield, Cade Klubnik hit the shot. That's how you can stay in this football game. So all that starts with, again, Garrett Riley, the offensive coordinator for Clemson. Also just helping Cade Klubnik get comfortable, a massive part of this whole situation. Your number 11 seed in the college football playoff, the fate decider, is running back for SMU, Brashard Smith. Okay, now Prize Picks, the square we love, his longest reception is set at 11.5. We'll take the more there. He's a weapon for them out of the backfield, and that's kind of where I arrive at this thing. He has to be your answer offensively. Not the only answer, but he has to be an answer offensively. I think Kevin Jennings, he's going to get his, man. Like, he's going to play Pirates of the Caribbean in the backfield. He's going to shake and bake. He's going to make people miss in the open field and get north and south. He's going to, you would expect to, do him. Guess who else knows that? Penn State. Abdul Carter, if he's not spying, I expect him to bring a lot of pressure all day long. When that happens, get the ball to Brashard Smith, especially out of the backfield. A big reason why we like the more there on his reception yards for longest reception, rather. So I think if he's the extra variable, in addition to Kevin Jennings being effective, and you have to try to, whack-a-mole style defense, can't account for both. You're on Kevin Jennings and you're on Brashard Smith. If Brashard Smith can make you pay there, whether it's running the football or in the open field out of the backfield, that could be the way that SMU makes things unhappy in Happy Valley. And number 10, we got Indiana, obviously, as your 10th seed in this whole deal. We're not going to overthink this. You could go a lot of different ways with Indiana. We're not going to overthink it. It's Curtis Rourke. And I arrive at that spot because the Ohio State game is tough, dude. It's tough to forget. It's going to be a talking point. It has been a talking point for the better part of this entire week. If you want to win this football game over Notre Dame, I'm not saying Notre Dame has the same roster talent as Ohio State, but what that game told me was you need somebody who's going to elevate your offense against a tough defense. Again, pretty straightforward, not super big brain here. That's got to be Curtis Rourke. Your 6th year of college football, you're in an offense where you've thrived this year, you've been very run-heavy this year. I need you to make the difference, whether it's just being timely down the field, whether it is having a couple explosive plays to open up the run game, which Curt Cignetti wants to freaking do. That has to be the way that you live if you're Indiana. Curtis Rourke, a fate decider for the Hoosiers. Your 9 seed is Tennessee. We talked about the pressure on Nico Iamaleava. Totally fair. You could say there's pressure on James Pierce. You could say that the fate decider is Josh Heupel. We're going to go ahead and say the fate decider is none other than cornerback for Tennessee, Jermod McCoy. Now, the pick for us here with him being the fate decider is path-centric. Ohio State has got dudes at wide receiver. All right, Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka. Like, Jermod McCoy will have his work cut out. The Tennessee front is elite, man. Like, defensively, they are going to do their job, or you expect them to do their job. You bank on James Pierce in that front 7 being able to bottle up the run game. So if that happens, how you want it to happen if you're Tennessee, how do you get beat? By Jeremiah Smith saying, hey, open, hand up, I'm open, Randy Moss style. Like, that would be the way that you have a very difficult day on Sunday after losing to Ohio State. Will that happen? Remains to be seen. but a lot of it to me falls on Jermod McCoy, who's been exceptional for them this year. I believe like 7 pass deflections, 4 interceptions. He's got to be an answer for them on the back end, quite frankly, for Tennessee to win this football game. Also, if you beat Ohio State, guess who you got next? Oregon, another loaded wide receiver room. So the path for Tennessee, the fate for Tennessee, in large part will fall in the secondary, and in my opinion, fall on Jermod McCoy. Now, who they'll play is the 8th seed in Ohio State, and I think their fate decider, staying in the defensive backfield, is Caleb Downs. I'm going to say something kind of crazy here, something kind of big, but I'll say it anyway. I think Caleb Downs could be pound for pound the best player in college football, not named Travis Hunter. Like, Travis Hunter's kind of someone you put in a different category. Caleb Downs is going to be a first-round draft pick. I would say he's going to be probably in the neighborhood of a top 10 draft pick, depending on who needs a safety. He's that good. And the reason why I have him at this spot for Ohio State, where you could put Will Howard, you could put Jeremiah Smith, you could put Chip Kelly, Caleb Downs decides the fate in my mind because of all that's going to be asked of him at the safety position in this game against Tennessee and then potentially the next game against Oregon. They're going to ask him to run the alley and diagnose quickly and trigger quickly on the run game. And then at the same time, by the way, hey, Caleb Downs, be savvy enough to also play the pass and be able to be in the right position so we don't get dimed up by these quarterbacks. That's a lot on Caleb Downs. So if he's not on his P's and Q's, you could see the big plays from Tennessee, like we saw against Vanderbilt where Dante Thornton's run over the middle and Nico delivers a dart and we're off to the races, catch and run. Could be any receiver. You hear what I'm saying. If Caleb Downs is on it, though, I think you have a chance to really minimize the impact of what Tennessee can do, especially filling on the run game. With how they try and align with those wide splits, does Tennessee, they try and, minimize the impact, if you will, of what the secondary can do in filling in the run game. So if Caleb Downs, we know how much film he watches. I mean, he probably watches more film than Netflix. If he's able to see it quickly and fill the hole quickly and help against Dylan Sampson in that rushing attack and create situations where it's third and obvious passing on Nico Iamaleava, you'll live that way. You live that way because Caleb Downs allows you to live that way. All right, so he's our fate decider for Ohio State. Our fate decider for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. This is a dude we've been high on for a long time. Like, I can go back and get the receipts on this individual from the preseason. That is Jeremiah Love. Now, I will say this when it comes to receipts. I got some misses. All right, I got some misses. Neither here nor there. But Jeremiah Love is a dude that I think is going to be one of the best playmakers in this entire college football playoff. I think the fact that he gets this national stage will open the eyes of a lot of college football fans that haven't kept tabs on Notre Dame this year. He is the pace changer for the Fighting Irish, averaging 8 yards a touch, right? 7 yards a carry, which is ridiculous. 9 yards a catch, also ridiculous as a running back. If you watch the USC game, he's just like probably on his way to wherever the next Olympic Games is, just high jumping over dudes, not breaking stride, running for touchdowns. If he gets this Indiana defense or Georgia defense or whoever plays Notre Dame off balance, guess what? Notre Dame can then do what they want to do, which is punch you in the face. A little bit morbid, but I think it's the way that they want to roll. Jeremiah Love, how explosive he is, the way that he can just change the way your defense has to account for what he is as a pass catcher, as a running back, that changes everything. That changes everything. And if he gets rolling, here come the Irish. Here come the Irish. Quick sidebar on Notre Dame. There was a lot of buzz in the social media world about will they wear black uniforms. Looks like they won't. Cut a promo last night about the deep navy they're going to wear. I'm here for that. But I will say, how funny would it be if they trot out there that first snap or trot out there after warm-ups in the Navy in some black uniforms? I'd love it. Beside the point. Jeremiah Love, our fate decider for the Fighting Irish. At number 6, I keep doing this like a ranking. It's not a ranking, it's a seeding. The 6th seeded team is Penn State, and that is Tyler Warren being your fate decider there. Again, not something that you really got to overthink. You could give it to Drew Aller. You could talk about James Franklin. You could talk about Colton Necky. Listen, this dude has 88 catches. The next closest player for Penn State is Harrison Wallace with 39. He is your pass game. Okay, he is your pass game. You still have to be two-dimensional as a football team to win playoff games. I think that's still a fair thing to say. Are you a better roster than SMU? I believe so. Are you a better roster than Boise State? I believe so. I don't know if you're a better roster left-handed. I don't know if you have no pass game that I like you as much in those spots. Those teams still play in the front seven as well, too. I don't think you can just run the football to a victory and just big boy them to death. Tyler Warren has to be the extra dimension for Penn State, which is the pass game. Also some pressure on Colton Necky and Drew Aller to dial it up, but Tyler Warren, make no mistake, he is your fate decider if you're a Penn State fan. At number 5, Our fifth seed, I'm going to get better at this. Our fifth seed here, Texas Longhorns, their fate decider, is Steve Sarkisian. A lot of pressure on Quinn Ewers, of course, but who does the pressure fall on to get Quinn Ewers dialed in, to get the offense dialed in? Steve Sarkisian. I loved so much in the SEC championship game the way that Sark just brought out the Louisville slugger a little bit, took some big swings. I think they were averaging like 14 yards a completion in that first half against Georgia. I loved that. How much can you stick with that same momentum and that same approach offensively, that same Louisville slugger approach before you pop a tire on this offense is my question. Only Sark knows that. Like, I think Texas is at their best when they are aggressive. They got the run game. They got Quintravian Wisner. They're fine to hunker down and run the football. Totally true. But they're at their best when they are taking shots downfield. Can they do that at an effective enough level to not turn it over, I guess is the question, because that was the problem against Georgia. Quinn Ewers went for over 300 yards against Georgia and lost the game because you turned it over twice, and that was kind of the story there. So I think there's a world here where Steve Sarkisian game plans Texas with this roster and with Quinn Ewers at quarterback to a national championship. The roster is good enough. If Steve Sarkisian really cooks, there's a world where Texas hoists that trophy in Atlanta with the confetti falling down and vibes are just ridiculous in Austin. So Steve Sarkisian, your fate decider, calling the offense for your Texas Longhorns. The fourth seed now. The fourth seed, not your fourth ranked team. Arizona State, I suppose, is how you would view them in this college football playoff. The fourth seed is Arizona State. The fate decider there is Sam Leavitt. Arizona State is a 60% run the football team. It does not take a rocket scientist to look at what they do offensively and say Cam Scadaboo is how they're going to live and die every given Saturday. And I love it. Like, I mean, Cam Scadaboo is our Gallon Jug Player of the Year award here on the Hard Count. Go watch the program awards if you haven't yet, and that'll provide some context there. You only get to maximize Cam Scadaboo if you don't have 8 people in the box, right? Like, you only get to allow number 4 to eat greedy if there's something downfield. Sam Leavitt, we've said it ad nauseum, rocks the gold chain, got some swag to him, got some it factor to him. Play like it in the playoff. Vibes could be good in Arizona State, could be good in Tempe, and it's all about can you maximize Cam Scadaboo. You do that by allowing Sam Leavitt to sling the pill around the yard. Big spot here for Sam Leavitt. For Boise State, I'd like to pick somebody else, honestly, as a fate decider, but like there's an old saying, I believe it's Daryl K. Royal said this, you dance with the one that brung you, baby. In Boise State, the one that brung you to the college football playoff is Ashton Jeanty. That's not me minimizing your defense. That's not me minimizing your quarterback play. Ashton Jeanty has gotten over 30 carries a game, essentially, with the exception of a game here, a game there, really since the end of October, mid-October. You will hand him the football and have him be the way that you live life, all right? He was second in the Heisman Trophy race for a reason. He's averaging like 9 yards a carry for a reason. Dude's really special, really freaking good. What they see in stacked boxes this upcoming college football playoff, whether it's SMU or Penn State in that second round, will be his toughest test yet. They will go as he goes. Not much more to say there. Our second seed in the college football playoff is Georgia. You could sell me on Gunnar Stockton here. I think that actually Gunnar Stockton is a fate decider to a degree, but I don't think if you're Georgia you want him to be your fate decider. I think it's Jalen Walker. And Jalen Walker won the Butkus Award this year. He is the tone setter. Butkus Award, for those of y'all that don't know, best linebacker in college football. He's the tone setter for this football team now with Carson Beck out of the lineup, assuming he's out of the lineup, if he is out of the lineup. Him hooping, in my mind, equates to the defense hooping. The defense hooping, I think, equates to Georgia winning football games. It shouldn't be about the offense. Like, I think this Georgia defense, under Glenn Schumann, with Kirby Smart as the head coach, like, they should feel some of that weight on their back. They're like, hey, if we want to go the distance here, we can't put it on this first-year starting quarterback in Gunnar Stockton, this first-time starting quarterback in Gunnar Stockton. You hope Carson Beck can get ready to roll, but even if he is ready to roll, you probably are asking a lot of the defense. So Jalen Walker, I think he's the one who makes Georgia tough to beat if he's really on his P's and Q's. You go and add up his numbers in those 2 biggest games of their season against Texas, 4 sacks total. So, yeah, guy's a ball player, and guy sets the tone for that football team in this playoff run. Our last fate decider for the top-ranked Oregon Ducks, I'm going with Tez Johnson. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Tez Johnson, to me, is Deshaun Jackson playing college football again. Shifty as all get out. Just get him the ball, let him work. They love it on the bubble screens. They love it in the short yardage, just getting them in space. He's also shown a bit of a vertical presence. The ripple effect, the way that it compounds to me, is what makes Tez Johnson the fate decider for Oregon. Like, if Tez Johnson is just unguardable, if he's just having a day and a half at the office, what does the rest of the game look like for Oregon? Like, at that point, okay, Dylan Gabriel, at a minimum, confidence in a good place. Usually a good recipe to win football games. The run game, probably pretty open because the defense is like, gosh dang, 15 is giving us fits today. Put on a clinic. We got to give him extra attention. Okay, so that's rolling. Also, defense, if you're scoring a lot of points, probably playing with the lead, or at the worst case scenario, they have some insurance as to, hey, if we give up a score here, we feel good about Tez Johnson and the offense getting right after this. So I think he's absolutely a game breaker for them. He's a fate decider, and to me, he is going to play a massive role in Oregon going all the way and winning the national championship. So to recap it for you, our fate deciders from the 12th seed all the way to the top seed are as follows. For the 12th seed Clemson Tigers, it's Garrett Riley. For the 11th seed SMU, it's Brashard Smith. For Indiana, it's Curtis Rourke. For Tennessee, it is Jermod McCoy. For Ohio State, it's Caleb Downs. For Notre Dame, it's Jeremiah Love. For Penn State, it's Tyler Warren. He is the pass game. For Texas, it is the chef out there in Austin, Steve Sarkisian. It is Gold Chain Sam Levitt for Arizona State. It is the one that brung you, that you're still dancing with. That is Ashton Genty from Boise State. For Georgia, Jalen Walker, the Buckus Award winner. And for Oregon, it is the Tasmanian Devil that I saw in the live chat just now. Shouts to y'all handling business for Oregon as the fate decider. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. And those are the guys that we think will dictate the way this whole college football playoff shakes out.